Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about President Trump, Senator Feinstein, term limits, and asking the right question. We're going to do this because I had a whole bunch of questions about term limits last night. One of them was like, I've watched pretty much everything you've ever made, and I don't know that you've ever mentioned this. And that may be true. I probably haven't. The reason this topic is coming up is because reports are suggesting that perhaps Senator Feinstein is not quite as sharp as she used to be. She's almost 90. There's probably some truth to that. Because of that, people realized how long she's been up there, and now they want term limits. The reason I haven't talked about it before is because I'm not sure it's the answer that a lot of people believe it is, because I don't think they're asking the right question. What was the most unnerving part of a second Trump term? Of that thought? He's going to be off the rails, right? Because he doesn't have to run for re-election. Because he doesn't have to worry about poll numbers. He can do whatever he wants. He's in office. Right? Why do people want term limits? When you ask that, normally what people say is, well, politicians get up there and they just stay up there. That in and of itself isn't necessarily bad. That's not really why people want them. If politicians were effective, represented the will of the people, did their job well, nobody would care how long they stay up there. The real reason people want term limits is because politicians either arrive corrupt, become corrupted, or are ineffective, and then get reelected. That's the reason people want term limits. To me, it's a lot like buying a fire extinguisher after the house is burnt down. It's not really addressing the problem. In fact, it may make it worse. Let's say we enact term limits, okay? And we'll say a senator can be reelected once. So that's 12 years. We'll let the House stay the same period. 12 years is certainly long enough to become corrupted. 6 years is. So if they don't have to worry about being reelected, if they don't have to worry about poll numbers, if they don't have to worry about representing the will of the people, what happens? Even if we just reduce it to one term, 6 years, it turns into a 6-year smash and grab of them getting as much as they can, as fast as they can, and there is nothing that anybody can do to deter them because they don't run the risk of losing their seat over it. The reality is that our system has term limits built into it. When a politician is discovered to be corrupt or ineffective, the voter is supposed to not re-elect them. But that's not what happens, right? And I get that. That is not what happens. That's because the American populace is not engaged. They don't stay curious about their politicians. They don't even know what they're doing. A lot of voters, they just vote for a party. They're not even voting for a person, which is sad because you're not really even supposed to be voting for a person. You're supposed to be voting for policy. Saying we need term limits is shirking our responsibility. It is our job. This is advanced citizenship. It is our job to remove politicians who are ineffective or corrupt. And I'm afraid that if term limits were enacted, it would make the problem worse. People cycling in and out like that be a whole lot harder to track the corruption. The money that goes to them, well, it just goes to them. There's no reason to look at their finances again because they're not going to be in public office. I don't know that it's the answer, because I don't think that people want to ask the real question. If you want to solve this, we have to increase civic engagement. You want to get rid of corrupt politicians, you want to get rid of ineffective politicians, those that spend 40 years up there just fleecing the taxpayer. People have to get involved. That's the actual solution. That's how you stop the house from burning down. Limiting them, I don't know that it would help. Maybe it could be a band-aid as we develop a more informed, more curious, more civic-minded populace. But I would imagine that while that's happening, those people, they are going to be off the rails up there. You're going to have envelopes of cash changing hands. Because unless they're caught in the act, there's no accountability. The voter is the term limit. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.